What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix new reality series, The Later Daters. Let's rock this. Now, I've seen some people online describing this show as more of a docu-series instead of a reality TV because there's no competition, no tournament, no voting people out involved, but I would still categorize it as reality TV because it's unscripted, more or less, it's lighthearted, and it's about dating. And now that I've already watched the entire 8 episodes of this first season, what is my verdict? The Later Daters is enjoyable, but also flawed in more than several ways. It's a mixed bag, is what I'm trying to say. But it's one of those shows where I can just sit back, relax, and sit through it when I'm eating lunch or when there's no other better content available. Executive produced by Michelle Obama. In The Later Daters, 6 baby boomers, with the help of their adult kids, closest friends, and a renowned relationship expert, are getting another shot at love. With Harvard-trained behavioral scientist Logan Ury, the author of the book How to Not Die Alone, coaching them as they navigate a whole new dating world and its different rules and online etiquette, where the eggplant emoji maybe doesn't mean what they think it does. Whether divorced, widowed, or long-time single, they end up forging deeper connections not only with their families and potential partners, but with themselves. Hey, do you know what crossed my mind as I was watching this show? That timeless song, "Thank You for Being a Friend." Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. Well, to be fair, this show doesn't just feature golden girls, it's also got golden men, which leads us to some of the positives. I think it's cute and adorable seeing old people trying to find love again in their twilight years. So, the concept of The Later Daters is refreshing in a big pond that's usually filled with other dating shows featuring young hot girls in skimpy bikinis and sculpted men with six-pack abs. Another positive is the coach, or the behavioral scientist, Logan Ury. Her insights and advice are fantastic. Some of the things that she says about the participants are remarkably spot on, so much so that they themselves look glad and visibly relieved to hear such truth spoken to them. Logan, to me, is kind of like a cornerman or a cutman. You know how in boxing, there's a cornerman or a cutman who would coach the fighter in between rounds. That's basically what Logan does. And she's very good at it, I might add. And even if she doesn't claim to be a matchmaker, obviously the participants are set up on a blind date with one another. So there is a degree of matchmaking involved, a degree of matchmaking that factors in, whether or not you'd like to admit it. Now, some of the negatives include, well, I don't want to be too harsh about it, but let's face it, let's keep it real. Old people are not that far different from younger people in the dating game. Yes, they are more established. Yes, they are more financially secure. Yes, they know what they like and don't like. They're not in the figuring things out stages anymore. But they still have boxes to check, just like every other human on the planet. My point is, what I'm getting at is, the way that these participants can often be so goddamn picky gets under my skin. Dude, you are in your 60s. What do you gotta be picky for? Have you looked at yourself in the mirror? Which leads me to speculate that maybe some of them agree to do this show simply because they are bored or they are vain and not really because they genuinely want to find love. And the final negative, which is not necessarily a deal breaker, but still, I mean, after the 4th or 5th episode, the format kind of gets stale. It's rinse and repeat. They meet at a dining place, they talk, they laugh, they find red flags about each other, and then they do the same thing all over again the next day with another person. I still believe The Later Daters is enjoyable, but it's an enjoyable show that you should watch in small dosages, as opposed to binge watching it straight up, because the show's repetitive format can get mind-numbing. So yeah, overall I give The Later Daters the rating of 3 out of 5. The showrunner needs to mix things up a bit in terms of how these blind dates play out so as to make things more interesting, you know? Yep, like I said, mixed bag.